products in your name. Our support organization can work and provide support to your customers in your name. All of the features in the products can be customized depending on what you would like to do with the product. There's nobody who can match the customization that SOS can deliver to you in terms of launching an online backup product. If you need to integrate with your CRM, we can do that, and on and on and on. And then this diagram here really covers the different angles of the SOS Partner Program. I'll just quickly go around the clock, starting with infrastructure. You can leverage any of our 11 global data centers. If you need your data to stay in a particular country, we can do that. So we've got a lot of Canadian partners who don't want their data to leave Canada. Product and software, we've spent a lot of time on the product, but everything you see can be rebranded to you. Billing flexibility, we've got a lot of different billing solutions. We can integrate with your CRM and shopping cart systems. You can just use our billing system, or we can just send you an invoice at the end of the month via usage, and you can handle billing and customer relationships however you want. Deep marketing support. We've got an entire library of marketing resources called our Partner Resource Center, PRC, which you get access to as a partner, which has got everything in it from email marketing templates to sales presentation templates similar to the ones that I'm using today. I'm actually pulling the PRC up on screen so you can see what it's got in it. Pricing guidelines to give you best practices for setting price depending upon what market you're selling back up to. A full DR plan that you can actually sell to your customers. An online backup sales guide, which is a 12-page ebook we've put together summarizing the best practices we've learned from our 1,000 or so partners over the years. There's detailed training resources, both pre-canned trainings as well as live scheduled webinar trainings that you can attend. And then, of course, terrific support. There's a knowledge base, there's FAQs, ticket submission, ongoing live chat, and phone-based support for your customers. So extremely deep set of resources for you to leverage as you enter the online backup business. A common question we get is, who should I sell this to? The most common way of selling it obviously is a general backup and disaster recovery solution, also as an archiving solution, a laptop fleet backup solution. So I think what you'll find is many of the businesses in your neighborhood, although they might have, or among your customers, they might have a backup solution in place for their servers, almost always, and their workstations, pretty commonly. They will almost always not have a proper backup solution in place for their laptop fleets. So laptop fleets are a massive growing part of the industry. And then all the other things we've talked about, branch office backup, email servers, application servers, database servers, etc. In terms of which markets are particularly attractive, medical and healthcare is the #1 market for online backup because of the HIPAA regulations. Margins can be as high as 80% in this particular industry. So that's, and then fin services, legal, government, and education are all rich sectors as well. All right, so I want to flip through to an example of the sort of financial performance that you can achieve when selling online backup. This is a summary of an ROI model that we've worked with a partner on putting together. And the high-level summary here is this partner has built a business with $70,000 in revenue, and their gross margin on that's 82%. So 58,000 of that 70,000 is profit for the partner. So it's a wildly profitable business that he's building using our technology. In terms of the way he's gone to market, and this is when you read our pricing guidelines in the Partner Resource Center, you'll see that one of the things we recommend partners do is follow a flat fee pricing model. So under the hood, you're going to buy from us gigabytes in our cloud. But in terms of how you on-sell it to your customers, you shouldn't on-sell it on a per gigabyte basis. You should come up with tiered fee structures. That is, for example, you might come up with a tier which is business backup for up to 5 computers, unlimited data. And you would only do that after you make an assessment of how much data they have, because under the hood you're still going to have hard costs associated with how much data they have. But in so doing, generally what you'll find is that businesses will pay $200, $300, $500 per month to back up their data, and you can then apportion storage allocations against that as necessary. And approaching pricing that way can allow you to drive extremely high gross margin on product sold. In this scenario, 82% of revenue is profit. Actually, before I leave that slide, one takeaway from today's webinar is to call in and have our team put together a ROI model for you. So The partner specialist team will ask you a few questions about your business, your customers, number of customers, types of customers, and help you build a model which can show you potential revenues, potential profits, and cash flows over time from selling online backup. Really educational process, and probably one of the best steps you can take to really understand if online backup is a good business for you to be getting into. We've covered a lot of the branding. I will just highlight this though. We've got a lot of marketing tools we bring to bear to help you sell. One of the better ones is our vulnerability scanner, which is a small app that runs on a computer and quickly analyzes that PC in terms of its files, file types, and the amount of data that they've got on that PC. And the goal of it is to allow you to assess the amount of data and effectively the opportunity. We call it our vulnerability scanner because the goal of it is to convey to your customers that, hey, they've got exposure here, they're vulnerable to data loss, and they need to get backed up. You can see it here in the foreground branded for SOS, and in the background branded for one of our partners, ETTE Online Backup. Terrific marketing tool, and just one of the many in the toolkit that we give you to help you sell online backup to your customers. I think we've covered the various support elements that you get as a partner. I will call out the training again. There's 3 different streams of training. You can attend live webinars that go for an hour and a half. There's a sales training stream, a technical training stream, and an overall online backup product and industry training stream. So very useful, and whether you're a small IT shop or a large company, there's training for whichever teams you've got on your side that you need to be trained. In a small environment, for example, a 1 or 2 man IT shop, you're going to attend all 3 streams, but in larger organizations, obviously your support team would attend the support training, the sales team, the sales training, and so forth. All right, so why partner with SOS? Our technology, our price point, our delivery, and our support infrastructure, but at the end of the day, so you can roll out an online backup product to your customers that is high margin recurring revenue, built off a business of delivering powerful managed backup to your clients. So that brings us to the end of the actual presentation part of the webinar. On time for once, we usually run significantly over time. We'll turn to Q&A now, but just a few housekeeping items. The details for the Kindle giveaway. We'll draw the Kindle in the next couple of days, and you'll get an email notifying you if you're the lucky winner. And to go in the running for that, call in and quote the promotion code KDX986. It's Kilo Delta X-Ray 986. And the phone number's on screen, which is a free call number in the US of 877-896-3611. And for people calling from outside the USA, the phone number is +1 310 878 2626. +1 310 878 2626. And with that, we'll turn to Q&A. So I'd love your feedback and thoughts and comments, so don't feel restricted to just asking questions. I'd love to hear your feedback on the presentation. Is this useful? Is this good information? Are there other topics you'd like to hear more about? And while you're thinking on that, I'll answer some of the questions we've got here. So Jim asks, is the data compressed on your side to conserve space? Absolutely, Jim. We've got 2 different types of data compression. But I think the best way to answer that is also to tackle the way we handle incremental backup. On day 1, we collect all the files that you select, and we compress them, and we ship them to the server. And that can take some time. That can take a couple of days, actually. On day 2, the first thing we do is we figure out which files have changed. The second thing we do is we then go into each file and extract just the blocks that have changed, so just the binary 1s and 0s. So you end up with a tiny data payload for the second backup, often less than 1% of the total backup that needs to be transferred. And then, of course, we compress that as well. So we're doing baseline compression as well as binary delta compression, and then we are doing backup set differencing between actual backup sessions, if that makes sense. Question here from Paul. For sensitive data, depending on where the server resides, excuse me, let's try that again. Paul asks, for sensitive data, depending on where the server resides, would that country have access to the data if the government deemed national security, for example, in the US. Paul, unlikely. Possible, I guess, but unlikely. Firstly, we've got data centers outside the US, so if you're in Canada or UK or Australia or elsewhere, we can make sure your data is not going to America if that truly was a concern. Secondly, if you use the ultra-safe security option, which is a private key encryption regime, SOS doesn't have any access to your data. So we could not provide your data to the government, even if the government asked us to. Juan Carlos asks, do you tie in with Autotask? One, we've got an API which allows you to integrate into Autotask, but we have our own management platform. So you would use SOS Pulse product to manage your SOS deployments. You wouldn't use Autotask. You could integrate it with Autotask, but you wouldn't get as much power as you're going to get if you use our own management suite. Jim asks, do you employ a backup client that runs during the workday continuous backup, or do you do scheduled off-hour backup? You can do either or, Jim, depends how you configure it. So you can set it up to do CDP, and you might do that on some really important files, or you can just have it do scheduled backup. Joshua asks, what's the lowest possible entry cost to become a partner? I'm a small company testing the waters in web services with little money to invest. Joshua, we've got some subscription plans where you can start for just a couple $100 a month. But generally at SOS, volume commitments are rewarded with margin, right? So our most popular partnership program, Partners Buy, is a $6,000 package, which gets them a 50 to 60% margin on what they're selling. And that's just the most common. Doesn't mean it's the best or the only one, but it is the most popular. Juan Carlos asks, can you repeat the code? Oh, sure. It's KDX986. 986. Luca asks, are there costs involved to get started as a partner? Luca, there are some very small costs involved in becoming a partner. We've got a lot of different partner programs. If you're cost sensitive, then our subscription models are probably the most interesting to you. And then depending upon what level of partner you come in at, you can buy product from us at varying discounts. So obviously our biggest partners can buy the product from us at the deepest discounts. James asks, how do you handle Exchange and SQL databases? Do you need special agents, extra cost? No special agents, no extra cost. You can back up Exchange and SQL. We support the VSS regime, so the